Cup. Shit with that right hand. And just seeing her back on the court has to be, therapeutic for many Fever basketball fans. But it wasn't the only highlight from Clark out there. She also hit a little bit of a floater during the course of this, which is always exciting to see when Clark starts getting those.
Caitlin Clark stepping back on the hardwood and hitting that smooth floater isn't just a casual mid-range bucket, it's a signal flare. For weeks, fans have been left in the dark, speculating about groin strains, coaching agendas, and conflicting medical reports. But in that single scrimmage moment, we got something rare in the WNBA news cycle: hope. The fluidity in her motion, the confidence in her lift. It wasn't just a player testing her limits, it was a competitor reclaiming her rhythm. But this small moment carries a bigger implication. If Clark is floating again, then the Indiana Fever system, which has adapted well in her absence, must now prepare to reintegrate its centerpiece. How fast they do that, and how prepared she is to handle the intensity of full-court press defense again, remains to be seen. This clip is the calm before the storm, and it matters because the comeback is no longer theoretical. It's visible, measurable, real.
All I'm saying is groin injuries are not day-to-day. We're 2 a week already.
Now, jumping right into this. The doctor said groin injuries are not day-to-day. Out the gate, letting it be known. They lied. They lied to us, man.
It proves our point. It's not day-to-day. It's at least...
This is where the smoke becomes fire. For weeks, fans were spoon-fed the line that Caitlin's injury was day-to-day. But now a medical expert steps in and torches that narrative completely. According to the doctor, groin strains don't magically vanish in 24-48 hours. They're lingering, nagging, and easily aggravated, especially for athletes expected to cut, explode, and move off ball for 30-plus minutes a night. So the real question: was the Indiana Fever organization intentionally misleading fans to keep ticket sales up and attention high? Or were they genuinely hopeful and misreading the injury? Either answer paints a problematic picture. If it's a smokescreen, it's disrespectful to fans and reckless toward Clark's long-term health. If it's incompetence, then we're talking about a franchise that mishandled the league's biggest star in her rookie year. The doctor's blunt words, "they lied," aren't just medical analysis, they're a public indictment. And now, the comeback timeline feels less like a countdown and more like a negotiation between risk and reputation.
It's just... I just don't see why she would. I don't see why she would risk it, because she doesn't want to play. She doesn't believe in minutes restrictions. So, if this is her first time in practice, I don't want her to play 31 minutes on Wednesday. I'll take the loss. I'll take the loss rather than risk.
This emotional plea from a fan isn't just passionate, it's prophetic. Because behind all the hype of Caitlin Clark's return is a community quietly holding its breath. There's a genuine fear that history might repeat itself, that her intensity and refusal to accept minute restrictions could backfire. And it's not just paranoia, it's precedent. Clark already rushed back once before after limited practice and ended up sidelined again. What's striking here is the fans' willingness to take an L in the standings just to keep Clark safe. That's rare in sports, but it speaks to how deeply invested the WNBA fanbase is in Clark, not just as a player, but as a long-term force for the league. They don't want short-term box scores at the cost of career longevity. So as the Fever flirt with the idea of rushing her back against the Valkyries or Dream, the question looms: is this about wins, or is it about wisdom? If she's not 100%, the best move might be no move at all. That's the hard truth this fan nails, and the organization needs to hear it.
About Caitlin Clark's all-star selections and the Fever versus everybody mentality extending to those festivities.
I see tonight. I think there's a high chance Chelsea and India on my team. I mean, everything attention. I might trade the rest of my team for those two, but no, I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. And that's what the All-Star Game is really about. Just because it's something to cheer about and I'm gonna have a good time.
This is the update that has fans lighting up the comment sections. Clark returning to full 5-on-5 action with the starters. That's not a small rehab step. That's a green light signal. And the inclusion of Arie McDonald in this new pairing is equally big news. Not only does it suggest Clark is physically ready to test game speed play, it also tells us the Fever are scheming offensively in ways they haven't before. The Caitlin plus Arie combo changes spacing, speed, and flow. For Clark, it means less pressure to carry the ball every possession. For the team, it means added flexibility in how they move the offense. This matters because if Clark is going to avoid re-injury, easing her back into the role while sharing guard duties is one of the smartest ways to go. But the subtext here is just as juicy. If she's out there with starters, she's not questionable. She's probable. And that changes everything about how the Fever approach this next game, and how every WNBA defense prepares for her reappearance.
The quad and the groin.
Injuries beget injuries.
Yes. Okay.
I'd have to say there's some relation. Is it a direct straight line relationship? Not necessarily, but injuries beget injuries.
So that was the doctor, man, pretty much speaking his mind about this Caitlin Clark injury, kind of letting us know that he feels as if the Indiana Fever front office possibly lied. Groin injury is not a day-to-day injury. It's a week.
Let's not tiptoe around this. There's now a full-blown trust issue between fans, media, and the Fever front office. A respected medical voice just pulled back the curtain and suggested what many feared, that we weren't being told the whole truth. When you combine Clark's explosive star power with the team's desperate need to keep momentum, there's real incentive to downplay injury severity. And this doctor didn't hedge his words. He flat out said it. Groin injuries don't heal overnight. Week to week means caution, setbacks, and limits. Yet the public-facing language was always day to day, which painted a much rosier picture than reality. It's PR spin, and now that spin is starting to spiral. This raises a deeper concern. If Clark was never close to playing, why was she on the bench in uniform? Why feed speculation she might return? It builds false hope and undercuts credibility. And when trust erodes in a franchise's transparency, especially with a generational talent like Caitlin, it casts a long shadow over everything from injury management to career longevity.
That's not ideal at all. Look, I think if she plays Wednesday, she's going to be incredibly rusty. She wouldn't be out there if she wasn't playing. Practice different than a game. That pocket pass has given her turnovers. Need to rework that with AB. How much longer to wait to see them anticipate these passes? Try to ramp it up. She doesn't.
This moment captures the tension perfectly. Caitlin Clark may be back physically, but she's not back rhythmically. That's a crucial distinction. Her decision-making in practice, normally lightning fast, looked a step behind. Those pocket passes she usually threads with her eyes closed, now they're leading to turnovers. That's not a talent issue, it's a timing issue. What's interesting is how transparent the fan commentary is here. There's no denial. They expect rust, but they also expect Clark to play because she's a competitor and has done this before, coming back after just one full contact session. And that's the scary part. Pushing a player to game speed intensity before their basketball instincts fully return opens the door to re-injury. It's not just about the groin, it's about reaction time, chemistry, confidence. If you're even half a step off, the WNBA will expose it. So this clip is more than a critique of one bad pass. It's a reminder that rust is real, and in a league that's already targeting Clark with aggressive defense, she can't afford to be anything less than fully in sync, physically and mentally, when she returns.
With Caitlin obviously playing 5-on-5 today, do you anticipate her progressing to be able to play on Wednesday?
I hope so. I think just, the same structure, I would say, return play section as we have been. Like she gets to do a little bit more, and if we see tomorrow, is there progress or is there any regression? How does she feel? How does she look? How does the recovery look like? And so this was really the first time we've been able to get her out as live action. So we'll see what it brings.
This clip is deceptively calm, but its implications are massive. Head coach Stephanie White doesn't confirm Clark's return. She cautiously floats the possibility, highlighting a day-by-day reassessment. That language, progress or regression, says it all. It's a delicate balancing act between optimism and reality, and the Fever are clearly trying to avoid another flare-up or media misstep. What this confirms is that Clark's return isn't just a coaching decision, it's a team-wide risk calculation. She's passed the 5-on-5 test, sure. But what happens 12 hours later when the inflammation kicks in, when the adrenaline wears off? Injury return isn't just about playing. It's about recovery after playing. Can Clark handle the bounce back? That's what Wednesday hinges on. It's not a green light yet. It's a yellow one, blinking with caution. So this clip isn't filler. It's the strategic heart of the update. The Fever are hoping she plays, but they're watching her closely. Because one wrong move could turn a short-term absence into a long-term nightmare.
Let's say that Caitlin Clark do come back, right? Do she perform to how she normally performs? Judging off this system that Stephanie White has, you know, she has a system, and I feel as if, this is my theory, this is why Caitlin Clark has been struggling from three. She cannot get in a rhythm. It's because of the system. They're taking the ball out of her hands and moving her to off the ball, bro.
This is where the conversation shifts from health to power. Because even if Caitlin Clark returns at 100%, will the system let her be Caitlin Clark? Coach Stephanie White has quietly reshaped the Fever's offense, pushing Clark into more off-ball actions and letting other guards run the point. The system has found some success in her absence, but will that system bend when she returns? Or will it force her into a role that stifles her rhythm and dilutes her identity? Clark has always thrived with the ball in her hands. Taking that away isn't just a tactical decision, it's a cultural one. It redefines who leads this team. And in a league already known for its physicality and politics, this may be Clark's biggest battle yet. Not against injury, but against an infrastructure reluctant to rebuild around her. This isn't just about her groin, it's about trust. In her body, in her coach, and in a system that may no longer be hers to control.
I don't want her to get hurt again. I don't give a damn if she doesn't. I do not give a damn if she does not play this game. I don't care if she doesn't play till after the All-Star game. I don't care. As long as she plays the All-Star game and is healthy after the All-Star game, I'm good.
This fan perspective is more than just emotional. It's strategic. It speaks for thousands who are finally saying the quiet part out loud. Let the All-Star game be the target, not the Valkyries or the dream. The All-Star game, while largely symbolic, offers a soft landing. It's not a must-win scenario. There's less pressure, less defense, and fewer minutes. If Clark's going to return, this could be the smartest place to do it. She can show fans she's okay, re-establish her confidence, and test her conditioning without risking serious harm. More importantly, this strategy would buy her another full week of recovery, physically and mentally. A longer runway. And for an injury that doctors now confirm was never day-to-day, that time matters more than any box score. This commentary clip closes the circle on the central issue. When should Caitlin Clark return? Maybe the better question is, when shouldn't she? And there it is. Everything we know, everything we've seen, and everything they're not saying about Caitlin Clark's major injury update. Let's recap. She's scrimmaging. She's hitting floaters. She's playing 5-on-5 with starters. From the outside, it looks like she's ready to suit up and get back to dominating the court. But scratch the surface, and it gets messy. We've got medical experts saying the injury was never truly day-to-day. We've got fans accusing the Fever front office of downplaying the severity of her groin strain. And we've got growing frustration with a system that may be changing how Caitlin Clark is allowed to play. So ask yourself, is this a comeback, or is this a cover-up? Because returning to practice doesn't mean ready for battle, especially not in the WNBA, where Clark has been hacked, pressed, and targeted every time she steps on the floor. Every extra pound of muscle she added is now being questioned. Every second of delay is being politicized. And yet somehow, she's expected to return and immediately be the savior again? Even scarier, what if the system no longer wants her to be the savior? There's clear evidence that Stephanie White is experimenting with an off-ball role for Clark. Less usage, less control. Some say it's to protect her. Others say it's a subtle move to take back power. Either way, this injury update is more than a status check. It's a warning sign, not just for her body, but for her future. Because if she's being rushed back for a franchise that won't give her the ball, won't protect her, and might be spinning the truth about her health, then this isn't about basketball anymore. It's about power, politics, and long-term risk. So now it's your turn. Should Caitlin sit until the All-Star break, no matter what? Do you trust the Fever coaching staff and front office to handle this right? And if she does return this week, should she demand to be the primary ball handler again? Drop your thoughts below. No filters, no holding back. Because if this comeback goes wrong again, there might not be a third one.